You're live. You're
Okay.
broadcasting. I can hear you. You both look wonderful, and you sound angelic. So sorry for the delay, and please go ahead.
Yeah, good work, Greg. I appreciate you bringing it back online, and things happen. So let me go ahead and, well, I'm going to start right now with a legal disclaimer, and then I will do what I'm really good at and get out of the way. So today's demonstration is designed to instruct you on using Metastock and accompanying software plugins. It's not a recommendation to buy or sell, but rather guidelines to interpreting and using specific indicators and features within that software. The information and software and techniques presented today should only be used by investors who are aware of the risk inherent in trading. Metastock shall have no liability for any investment decisions based on the use of the software, any trading strategies, or any information provided in connection with the company. And Fausto, I'm laughing about my Chewy joke from a minute ago. So to introduce Fausto a little bit here, we actually brought in Fausto because we were kind of in the chat room earlier, like last week, and I was like, hey, is there anybody that you want to see? And Fausto, you came up as somebody that people wanted to see. They're like a bit ago, we saw somebody that was talking about real time and level 4 data, and you should bring back that person. So people have really recommended you. Fausto's a few things that are kind of odds and ends about Fausto. I promised something that would be a little embarrassing. Fausto is actually quite a chef. He runs an alternate channel that kind of talks about his marinara sauce recipe. I believe he has chickens. Am I correct on that?
I am. I got a home living channel. That's right. Actually, that's what I was doing since before I got started. I had to make sure I made the chicken cuccoletta, which is chicken cutlet, pasta passetti, pasta and peas. I made meatballs. I'm going to post that on my YouTube channel. So I made a lot today. A lot of free time.
We can shout out that YouTube channel too here if you want. So
that's the home living. That's it.
There you go. With that being said, Fausto always does a great job, very dedicated. I've known him for a million years now. So Fausto, it's my turn to get out of the way. Let me go ahead and get the screen share put together for you. So. All right, there it goes. All right, and I can see everything. I can hear you. The audio is great. You sound like an angel. I can see the screen. It's your turn. Go.
All right, everybody have the screen? Everybody can see okay?
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Chef. And yeah, how long I've probably known him for? It probably has to be close to like 25 years. It's amazing how time flies. And thanks for everyone asking for me. But I'm going to have a lot of fun. I'm going to show you basically what I do, how I trade in today's markets, and basically how to follow what's going on. I mean, this week has been a very active week for day traders. That's basically what I do. But as a day trader, you're going to learn how to swing trade. You're also going to learn how to be a good options trader. But mainly everything starts by day trading. Now, a couple of things like just Jeff brought up. I'm actually I'm a speaker at Nasdaq talking about how to use that total view. I'm going to show you really quick what I'm talking about right here. First of all, did everyone see some of the stocks that moved today? Some of them were like, the big one was like, let me bring one up right here for you. AMD. Now, did everyone see AMD today? This is actually the actual exchange. And I don't know if you guys know this, but like you had to get licensed to trade on this thing when I started. Now everyone get it for free. I'm going to go over the details, but I'm going to show you exactly how to follow the big block orders. Like you could see right here, there are buyers on the left, there's buyers on the right. You're probably looking at it and like, well, there's a lot of numbers. I've seen this before. It's confusing. Don't worry about it. I'm going to go into great detail. And not only that, but when I'm done, I'm going to invite all of you to come and see it live in the market hours. And whatever you can't see, if you're not going to be around, it's going to be recorded. So, but I'm going to show you exactly what do these shares mean? Why is someone looking to buy 5,000 or 10,000? Why is the only person looking to only buy 400? Why is this person on the right looking to sell 6,000 or the 11,000? Who are these 124 orders out there versus the one order out there? That's what's going to show you how to follow and read the future. And that's what we're going to talk about. So let me just change the slide here. So with that said, I mean, obviously we just went over the disclosure. Remember, this is just for educational purpose, everyone. You know, I'm not making any guarantees or promises or anything like that. It always varies student to student. Now, what we're going to cover is we're going to talk about how to identify little breakouts in the market. We're going to also talk about what is the Nasdaq, being a market maker, meaning how do you trade? And why Nasdaq? Why not the New York? Well, Nasdaq does about 50% of the volume, and you're going to see that. We're also going to talk about how to follow order flow, algorithms, high frequency trades. I'm going to talk about all these things. Now, how do I know that? Because I live here in New York. I was trained by some of the best traders in the world. And some of them even live in, one lives right across the street from me, believe it or not. And you're not going to beat them, but you know what? You can follow them. And that's really what it comes down to it. Now, I've been a 12-time champion at the Money Show. I beat every school I competed against. I used to do those competitions. But at the end of the day, winning those championships does not make me a good teacher. And that's why everyone's here. You're here to kind of see is like, okay, I understand. I've watched you before. I've seen you at Metastock. Maybe seen you at a couple other events. Maybe you were there. Watched me on some of my social media. But the question is, can I teach you how to do it on your own? And I want to kind of tell you that I am no different than you, and that's how I teach. So I started when I was 22 years old. You could see that Forbes magazine on the left-hand side. I always loved showing that magazine because it was a bunch of kids tormenting Wall Street. I was one of those kids. And you know what's crazy about that photo right there? Look at the monitor. It's a 15-inch monitor. That big tube. Remember those big things you could literally use as a paperweight? Literally, we could make money on that one computer. Some of you are here trading with 4, 6, 8 monitors, and you still can't figure it out. It's all about following orders. That's what it's all about. And I'm going to show you how we did it and how I started and how I got here today. Also, at the end of the presentation, whoever registers come to see me live tomorrow, I'm going to give you a copy of my book, How to Beat Market Makers That Own Game. If you like, you can go to Amazon and pay me $47. But because I like everyone here, I'll give it to you for free just by registering at the end. All right. So I'm actually going to be live at Nasdaq next week. I'm going to talk about what we're going to be talking about today, basically how to use the book viewer. But understand something. The exchange wants you to understand how to trade the market. Listen, if you fail, they fail. If you're out of business and you blow up your account, you're not going to do any more tickets. They don't make any more money. Remember, it's all trickle-down economics when it comes to trading. Now, over the years, I've trained thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands of people. But hopefully one day, maybe you can come down to New York and enjoy these wonderful people and be one of them, because that's what trading is all about. Now, before I get into it, you could register right now. If everybody has their phone, you could scan that QR code. I'm going to invite everybody tomorrow. I'm going to show you everything that we're doing live today. And whatever you can make, because I know some of you here at night, just take your phone. You could scan that QR code, or you could type in that address right there. And because I'm going to show, because listen, the market's closed. There are some stocks that are moving, but we're talking after hours. But I don't want to waste anyone's time. So when I start showing you some stuff and you start seeing and be like, wow, this really makes sense. But I don't know, anyone can make a really pretty PowerPoint. Well, guess what? We practice what we preach. So we'll bring you back there tomorrow so you can see it live. All right. So let's talk about what's going on with the market. The market is getting crushed. Okay, let's be honest. We had the S&P got really beat up. The Dow got really beat up. And some of us are freaking out because we're like, my God, do I sell my swing trades? What am I doing with my options? More people, I think like 90% of the trades, maybe even higher, go long, then go short. And some of you sitting there holding, these stocks are like, well, today was a good day in the market, yesterday, but overall, it hasn't been that good. And that's what you have to look at it. But this is trading. This is why we love what we do in the trading world, because whatever goes up must come down. Whatever comes down must go up. It's all about volatility, because we're at the end of the day, as a professional day trader, we're always in cash at the end of the day. Now, this week has been a really, really big earnings week. I don't know if any of your stocks came out, but there's been a lot of action in the market. And not only that, but you saw what happened today with the Fed. There's been a lot of action. But the question is, how do you benefit from it? Well, the goal is about following other people and seeing what they're doing, see what the street's doing. For example, let's look at Pinterest. Okay. By the way, is anyone familiar with Pinterest? PINS? Anybody here? By the way, I just put it in the chat really quick. Just want to see if everyone could see if everyone's paying attention. I think we got close to about over 60, 70 people in here. Wanted to see if everybody knows pins. Everybody know pins? Give me a yes or no. That's all I asked. All right, good. There we go. Perfect. My daughter's very familiar with it, Gibby. Of course she is. Of course she is, Jeff. Everybody's familiar with Pinterest. I mean, listen, you start a business, you want to be building a house, going shopping, it's great. Well, Pinterest got crushed, okay? But earnings that came out, it did really well. And not only did it do really well when earnings came out at 4 o'clock, you could see how it hovered here in the after hours. And when it opened up here in the morning, actually, let me get my crayons out here so you guys can follow along. See my little pen. Then you can see right here when the market opened up, it ran from $28 to almost $30 a share in less than 40 minutes. Now, let me tell you why we love day trading. You know what a 40-cent move is? 40 cents. 40 cents on, I'm sorry, what am I saying? 40 cents. What the hell am I talking about? It was about $1.40 actually. If this thing just moved, let's use simple math, $1 on 1,000 shares in 40 minutes, you are talking $1,000 to $250,000 salary. This is why people love day trading. Like, wait a minute, is that how much money it moved in that short period of time? Yeah, damn well it did. Absolutely. That's why we love trading. Now, a couple other stocks, SoFi. Maybe you want to trade something a little bit more less expensive, a little bit more controllable. SoFi ran from $7. You could see at 9:30, and at 10 o'clock, literally the stock goes to $7.50, goes up 50 cents. I don't know, 50-cent move, 1,000 shares, $7,000 investment, $500, $100,000 salary. Why not? Maybe you feel a little uncomfortable and be like, I don't know about these stocks. I like to trade more expensive stocks. Maybe you got deeper pockets. Okay, let's trade Amazon. Amazon had good earnings. That one also had a good pop. You see, it's all about risk to reward. What I'm showing you here is that there are so many stocks to trade, from $5 stocks to $50 stocks to $300 stocks. But you know what the most important thing about being a good trader? It's all about risk towards reward. See, for me, I personally don't like to talk about winners. I like to spend more time talking about losers. You know why? Because it's the losers that make people put people out of business. The winners take care of themselves. It's the losers. So my point I'm showing you these past couple of slides as a trader is that there's things that are moving all day long. But do you really care what you trade, or are you just here to make money? Because there's so many stocks like IBRX that goes from $1.30 all the way to $3, so about 300% in a couple of days, which you'll never see Amazon do that, go up 300% in 3 days. Now you're probably looking at it, well, why did IBRX go up then, Fausto? Well, it's all about following the money. And that's what we're going to talk about, because this is what drives these stocks higher and higher and higher. And not only that, as a day trader, you might even notice that we do things a little bit different. We keep things very simple. We just follow orders, keep a regular candlestick chart up there, just see what the trend is, and because the trend is your friend, because you could see as you follow the trend, like IBRX, it just keeps going and going and going. And what makes it keep going? Buyers. Everybody here is probably wondering, okay, Fausto, where are the buyers? We're going to get to that, okay? But you have to remember, a chart is lagging. The chart is just showing you what happened in the past. You want to be a good trader, you got to focus on what's going on in the future. The future are where are the orders. So how do you know how to follow those orders? Well, it's all about not being part of that 90% failure rate. That's why we're all here, okay? Trading, first, well, listen, you saw what Jeff mentioned earlier. We have over 40 speakers next week that are coming on the MetaStock event. Why are we all here? Because they know how much starving of education everyone needs to do. But most important thing is, you can have all the education you want, but if you can't fix this problem, everything else is right out the door. So how do you avoid being an 80 to 90% failure rate? Because trading is a very big failure rate. And if you really think about it, why would anybody go into this business knowing you're such a big failure rate? I'll tell you why it's such a big failure rate. Because people are not smart like you. They didn't show up tonight, okay? They think that they could go out there, watch CNBC, Fox Business, get some newsletter from somebody else. You want to be a good trader, you have to learn how to drive the car yourself. And that's why I'm here, and that's why I'm so happy that so many of you requested me to be here, because the reason why you probably request me is because I hit a nerve. I hit a nerve because something taught you and says, you know what? Fausto taught me something that I knew that was going behind the scenes that no one ever talked about. And the reason why that is because I was a market maker. I was a trader on Wall Street. And that's what you have to focus on. That's what people do here. Now, before we can focus on making money, we need to learn and talk a little quick about not how losing it. All right. So I have a couple of cardinal rules, okay? And there are two big cardinal rules come to trading. Cardinal rule number one, no overnights. Now, why is that? Well, listen, you can't mix and match day trading with swing trading and investing and options. The reason why people fail, because they don't want to take a loss. And then they trade over the course of the day and the stock is trending down. They're like, you know what? I really don't want to, I'm losing money on the stock. I can't afford it. Maybe it'll come back tomorrow. Maybe if I go to church tonight, maybe if I'm nice to my pet or whatever, I don't know, whatever you thinking, it's not going to work. I've seen more people blow up their accounts. Well, actually, when I first got started, they did a test. Because back in the day, we had to trade all the we had to trade the firm's money, and they just basically gave you a little money, and they wanted to see how many people would make the biggest cardinal mistake, and about 50% of the people did it on the first day, and those 50% of the people did not show up to work the next morning because they were fired. So, cardinal rule number one: no overnights. Cardinal rule number two: no averaging down. What does that mean? That means you're losing money and you're buying more and averaging your cost. That is a sucker's bet. That's some stockbroker's pitch to tell you, listen, he sold you stock and he's trying to make you feel good, and that it wasn't that bad. If you loved it then, you got to be drooling over here at these prices. That's horse crap, okay? So those are the two biggest things I really want people to focus on before we go into trading and finding out. Cardinal rules: no overnights, no averaging down. Now, let me ask you the simple questions here. What makes these stocks move up in the first place? Okay. Well, please keep in mind, it's all about supply and demand. That's what it's all about. Buyers and sellers. There's nothing else that drives a stock. It's not a Fibonacci. It's not a MACD. It's not a Mr. Bollinger's job. They're just mathematicians. It's buyers and sellers, supply and demand. So, how do we find those big supply and demand? You got to know where those orders are. And that's what we're going to talk about on Nasdaq Book Viewer. So if you haven't scanned, I'm going to show you that scan again. But tomorrow, if you logged in late, I'm going to show you how we see this live in the market. Now, the market is still open. It is 6:20 here. So market closed about an hour and 20 minutes ago. There is some data coming up here, but not as much as you would think. But I'm going to start off talking with level 3. I'm going to talk about level 4, which, by the way, if anybody could let me know here, are any of you trading with level 3 and level 4? I mean, you heard of level 2, you probably heard of level 1, but having the MetaStock platform is, hands down, probably the best platform for a trader. But there are, things that you want to be able to look at to see them happening when it comes in today's markets by having a seat on the exchange. So let's talk really quick about NASDAQ level 3, okay? Now, the real technical word for it's called NASDAQ Book Viewer. I don't know if anyone here has it, but I'm going to tell you where to get it, okay? But before I tell you where to get it, I have a couple of videos I want you to watch because this might do more harm than good if you didn't know about it. You know what I mean? It's like finding out oh my God, I could drive a car. Like I was been doing public transportation. I never knew I didn't know you were even allowed to do that. I heard of it. Yeah, give that key to that 17-year-old kid that you never taught him how to drive. You just basically gave the keys to his coffin. We all know about that. By the way, very, very scary. So let's talk about how do we use the Nasdaq book viewer. All right, so we're looking at a stock right here. Let me get my crayon so you guys can follow along. Okay, so here's our RDFN, okay? And you could see that the stock on the chart, it really came down really hard. It took a big dive from 5, and it dropped all the way to 420, okay? For some reason, it stopped at 420. And you could sit there and say, oh, it must have been the 4 candles and the green and the wick. Let me tell you what, forget about that, okay? I'll tell you exactly what it was. Somebody must have wanted to buy it at 420. That's the only reason why. That's the only reason why that stock didn't go to $4. It stopped specifically at 425 because there was a 67,000 share buyer out there. Now, not only was there a 67, but there was a 69 too at 430. That right there, you're talking over 140,000 shares between 430 and 425. Now, here's the catch. When you look over here on the left-hand side, you got 1,000 share buyer, 2,700, 5,000. But when you get down right around, really down that low, you're like, wow, look at those big buyers out there. That's pretty far down the list. Guess what? There's a reason why they're buying it there. That's called program trading. Okay, those are the people out there that are making these support levels. Because this is the important question up here on top. Everybody's looking for a support level. Everybody's looking for a resistance level. But you can't have a support level unless you have those buyers. So it's the opposite. Support don't make buyers. Buyers make support. Same thing on the sell side, okay? When it comes to the sell side, sellers make resistance. Resistance don't make sellers. So here you have a stock like PATH, great run-up. Stock is moving up beautifully. Right around here, $16.20. After about 10, 11, 12, 1, 130, finally it meets its match, and it decides not to go any higher. And specifically why? Because at $17, there's a 67,000 share seller. And if you didn't see that seller, fellow traders, you would be the person that's drove it all the way down to 1686. Now, that's how you convert a winner into a loser. And I know a lot of you have been there and done that. And I know the reason why you're here is you're probably wondering, what made that stock a resistance level? Why did it go down? It's not because, like I said earlier, it's not because of Mr. Fibonacci. It's not because of Fausto. It's not because of Jeff Gidley. It's not because of, BlackRock. Well, it could be BlackRock because that could be his 67,000. Do I know it was BlackRock? No, I don't know who that was, but I know that order's real. How do I know it's real? Well, when you come back and you come and join me tomorrow at 12 o'clock, I'll prove it to you it's real. Because when we go out there and we see that order, maybe we'll go out there and we'll test it with your money. Because I get people all the time be like, how do I know it's real? I heard those are spoofing going on. How do I know that he's not, he's bluffing? Listen, there are liars and cheaters in every business. Okay? Go buy a car. All right? Go to the doctor. Okay? Go to your insurance company. Go to anybody. They're all trying to sell us. You know what the difference about getting sold? You still want to get screwed too much. See, I always look at trading. I always feel like I'm going to get screwed all the time. I just don't want to get screwed too much. That's what my father told me, okay? So I'm passing that knowledge over to you. When it comes to trading, I know I'm dealing with liars and cheaters. The question is, you just got to know how to play the game. And the game is follow and see what they're doing. So let's go over a few trades that we did this week, okay? Now, I don't know if anyone saw PLTR. Now, PLTR took a very, very big hit. And I know some of you have been in these positions before. You're in a position, stock is tanking. The first thing you need to do is don't panic, okay? If you're panicking, I'll tell you what your problem is. You're probably trading too many shares, okay? I never panic on a stock like this. It happens all the time, okay? Because and listen, I'm still here. I've been through these situations before. Now the question is, when is it going to stop? Well, without looking at anything further, I have to make a decision. Do I sell it now and take my loss, or do I find out maybe, just maybe, I'm getting close to a big buyer? So I look over here on Nasdaq Book Viewer, and I see that all the way down here, which is about, I don't know, what is that, 25 cents away. I got a 56,000 share buyer out there. So with that 56,000 share buyer out there, maybe I should hold it. And you know what? It hit it, went up, it hit it, and went all the way back up to 1480. How many times have you been in a stock and you feel like, damn it, why did I sell it? Why did I sell it? Look, it's like somebody's watching me. You know what I mean? Like, I got out, and as soon as I got out, the thing goes up. Well, did you know that there was 56,000 shares out there, fellow traders? Okay? Because if you knew that, you probably would have said, well, it's a hell of a lot more shares than I'm buying. Maybe I'm the guy that's looking to buy the 200 shares, or maybe some of you buying 3 shares. But if I had a choice between you and 3 shares, or you Michael, and at 200, I'm sorry. I'm going with the 21 orders out there at 56,000. And you just got to be patient. Let's check out another stock. Let's talk about Pinterest, because we showed that earlier. So Pinterest was going up. Okay, now this is the thing you got to be a good trader. You got to have a game plan. Got to have a game plan. The game plan is you're making money. The stock you own at 28. It's at 28.90 right now. You got a good profit, but everything is showing you it's going higher and higher and higher. Listen, nothing goes up forever. It's going to come up to sellers, not resistance, sellers. So how do we know where the sellers are? We're going to go to the Nasdaq. We're going to check out the Nasdaq exchange, and we're going to see where the sellers are on the right. And right here on the right-hand side, you'll see where the sellers are. Oops, let me get a better color. Here are your sellers. And right here at 30, you have 76 orders that make up 91,000 shares. Now, I don't care what you're reading. I don't care if Jeff's daughter is going to say, hey, this is the best company in the world, Dad. It's going to 200. Okay, I know Jeff is smarter than that. Jeff be like, sweetie, you're probably right, but I got to get through this 91,000 share order first, okay? And unless you knew that, you're going to think it's going to go higher because you're still looking at the chart. But you know what? Till it gets past that 91,000, there's only one way to figure out what's going to happen with that, right? Only time could tell. And within time, from 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock, to 12 o'clock, and never wanted to get past it. It just sat there, didn't want to break 30. So that's the beauty about trading. And you could sit there and you could figure it out, and you could say, and let me tell you, the worst thing that could happen to you is that you fall in love with a stock. In trading, we have no morals. We don't care what the company does. We don't want, listen, everyone knows here, what's the big news that's going on right now? Okay, what's the big news? The war in Israel. Okay. Did you ever think? Now you could be anti-war. You could be like, kumbaya. You know what I mean, like whatever. But as a trader, the first thing I looked at, you know where I went? I went right to the military stocks. Have you seen what happened to the military? Did you see what happened to Lockheed Martin? Did you see what happened to what's the other one? The one that makes the bullets, was it Smith & Wesson? All of them. RTX, all of them. They all took off. You think I'm like, well, I'm anti-war, I'm anti-guns, but when it comes to a trader, you know what? If those things are moving and nothing else is moving, you think I'm not going to trade it? It's part of doing business. Some of you remember, maybe, let's forget about even COVID. How about 9/11? Okay, when those planes crashed right not too far from my house. I was literally I live literally 15 miles away from that. You could see from my house, all right, when those things crashed. You think I sat there and I'm like, you know, what am I supposed to do? I sold all my stocks. I was short. And you know what's beauty about it? I had access in pre-market. Some of you don't even know what that, some of you couldn't even get out of your positions. That's what trading is all about. Now, the question some of you are going to ask me, okay, Fausto, where do I get Book Viewer? Well, I'm going to tell you. Here's my email address. I'm not going to tell you the website. I'm not going to tell you where, because it's going to make you more damage than good. Just click on that. And just send me an email, and I'll be happy to send it to you. All right. FaustoP@ctucorp.com. All right. Put it in for you. Because you know what ends up happening? People are so scared to reach out to me. And believe me, and Jeff knows me very, very well. I'm the most generous person. I love going out there and helping people. But I'd rather you email me than go out there and like, okay, let me go out there and look it up and see how things work, you know, and I'll do it myself. The worst thing that can happen to you is that someone could tell you about it and you go out and do it on your own. That would probably blow up your account even worse. So let's do it the right way. All right, let's go check out the live market really quick. All right, so I'm going to bring this up really quick right here. And let me bring this up over here. Let me show you a couple of stocks, okay? Because the market is moving a little bit today. We're going to check out the stock that was moving today was AMD. Now, the way you would trade AMD is this. What is making AMD go up? Buyers. Now, for some of us, we all got to know where to get out, okay? Now, right here on AMD, the first thing I notice is I'm going to look at the order size, and I'm going to look for big orders. 28, 71, 129, 45. Those are the big orders. And now we're looking over here. 1,400 is not a lot. 11,000 is pretty decent. 6,000 is pretty good. This guy at 4,000, I don't know what that is. That must be just a lot of algos. But that's what I'm looking at. And that gives me and when you look at that number, where we're over here, we're talking about, okay, so the stock could move 45 cents. If it breaks that, it'll move about another $1. If it breaks that, it'll move about another $1. So it looks like the stock is moving in dollar intervals. Not bad. That's how you have a game plan. So when you break resistance levels, this is how you know where the stock will continue to go higher and to where it's going to stop. Let's look at another stock. Let's look at, I don't know, what's popular? Tesla, right? Everybody likes Tesla. Tesla's actually probably the most searched stock on the internet. So Tesla got really beat up, and Tesla got really, really crushed, and it's moving pretty good now. And we were dropped below 200. It was at 300 less than probably like a couple of weeks ago. But it went up. Now the game plan is you bought it, you got a good price. Let's say you got it at 198, maybe you got it at 200. Now you got to say, okay, well, where's the next resistance levels? Well, when you look over here, I'm just looking for big orders. Where are my big orders? I got 10,000 right here at 210. Now 210 is way, 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 way out of the money. But is it really? It's like $4 out of the way. We got 3,000 right here for 3,300. We got 77 orders out here to make it here at 208. So you could see like right here, it hit 208 and started going back down. If it breaks 208, then maybe 210. And if it breaks that, the next one will be 212. But I'll tell you one thing, it's not going to be 209. It's not going to be 208. You see how how they come to fruition, everybody? And you know what? What about if you're wrong? What about if it goes down? Well, where are the buyers? You got to have a game plan. Well, looking at it, doesn't look like we have too many buyers out there. Not a lot of buyers at all. I see a lot more. I see a big buyer out here, right around 200. That's all the way down here. Is that even possible? Well, looking at it, like, wow, you know what? 200 was a big support level over the course of the day. Well, the reason why is because it had, those orders out there on the bid. You see trading, traders, it doesn't get too complicated. I'm going to do one more, and then we're going to close it out. All right. Let me look at one more stock. What was a good one? I know Bitcoin's been moving up pretty well, right? Coinbase, how's Coinbase doing? We got any big orders on this? The market's closed. This is live data, so it's kind of hard to find orders right now. ALDX was pretty good today. Here you go. Yeah, see how that one. You have any big orders on this one? Yeah, it looks like a lot of the orders basically kind of left. How about Apple? Cancel. Apple's got a little bit of a move right here. We got a couple of orders. Let me do some filtering here. Let me just say, don't show me anything more than 2,000. If any orders above 2,000. See if it helps. Oops. Lost my webcam. There we go. All right. So you can see that.
That was my fault. I'm sorry.
That's okay. You can see that there are some big block orders here for 3,000, 179 at 165, probably all the way down here. And, you know, you got some big orders out here. 100, you see at 190, got 178. So you can see some orders out there where they are, but the market's kind of closed. So if you want to have, not only you could use this as a day trade, but you can also use it as a swing trade. All right. But I'm going to show you all this live tomorrow. All right. So how could you all register and basically get my live book and come and join me at 12 o'clock? And if you can't join me, listen, as long as you register, it will be on your, we'll send you the recording. But listen, we do education, some of the biggest brokerage firms in the industry. We're endorsed, we're endorsed more than any school in the industry when it comes to trading. We also have, you know, literally almost a 5-star rating at Google. You know, read the ratings on us. Okay. These are real students, real stories. And listen, you know, you got to learn before you can earn. There's nobody better to listen to other people that have gone through it. Now, this is all you need to do, everybody. Just take your phone, scan that QR code, and just put your email and get registered. We'll come there live. So I want, because the market, like I said, we're doing this late in the evening, and I know some of you just getting home right now. Feel free to just click on that QR code, click on that, and we'll get registered. Do I have any more slides on here? Yeah, no, that's it. All right. Now, with that said, does anyone have any questions before we finish out? Any other questions?
We did have a comment from YouTube. Kurt just registered, so he'll see you tomorrow. He'll see you tomorrow.
Beautiful. Look forward to seeing you. Listen,
did you see the question from Joe about how you arrive at the stocks how do you find the stocks that meet the criteria you're looking for?
That's an excellent question. So tomorrow, what we do is we're going to show you how we go through the big percentage gainers and losers, which the MetaStock does a very good job of sorting those out for you. So usually anything in the most active, you'll see it in the big percentage gainers. But the issue is there are 20,000 stocks out there. On that big percentage gainer and losers list, you're going to get about the top 20. There's only about 3 or 4 of them that are going to give you the least amount of risk with the high amount of reward. I'll show you how we're going to scan those out, how we're going to filter them out, and how to go out there and trade them tomorrow. But that's realistically the only tool that I use to help me find those stocks. Because listen, the company comes out with great earnings, it's going to be on that watch list. That's what it comes down to. Yeah.
Cool. Judy wants to know what is the cost after the 1 week?
What's the after the 1 week?
Yes.
Listen, does it really matter right now? You know what matters right now? Listen, if it costs $10, $100, or $1,000, or $10,000, listen, if it's working for you and you like it, worry about that a week from now. Right now, what you have to worry about is, let's just see what it looks like in the real market. You know, I don't like to talk about money with someone else. Like in my trading room, we don't talk about money. We don't talk about points or anything. I don't like egos, okay? But regarding what it is a week or a month from now, let's get through day 1 first. And then you make that decision later, you know?
Cool. Lee wants to know if he can use it with his options trading.
That is absolutely. And let me tell you something. For everyone here who trades options, do you know it's 10 times harder to trade an option than just to trade the stock? And I'll tell you why. What makes an option move is the movement of the stock. You want to be a good options trader, you got to be a good stock trader first, because how do you know what option to trade if you don't even know what the stock is doing? So, and believe me, you will see a stock move and then be like, wait a minute, stock's got good options, you know, but you don't want to be the person that's going out there And, well, unfortunately, we say this here in New York, poor man playing rich man's game because you can't afford the stocks, you figure trade the option. You do not want to do that, okay? There are a lot of inexpensive stocks out there that have very good spreads, that you have more control. But there are great options trades out there, but you got to know how to trade the stock first. All right, so hopefully that answered that.
Cool. Maverick in YouTube chat wants to know, I use Book Viewer level 3, but what are the advantages of using level 3 or 4 over level 2?
Okay, so level 2 has been outdated since the 90s. Okay, level 2, and we'll show it to you tomorrow, but level 2 just shows you the best bid and best offer. That's all it shows you, okay, on that exchange. The Nasdaq does about 50% of the volume. New York does about 20%, and then you have all the ECNs like EDGX, there's a bunch of them out there, CNET, all of them, CBOE. So when you're looking at on level 2, you're just seeing that best bid and best offer at that exchange. But when you look at the exchange's book, you're looking at every single order out there. So you're not going to see the depth all the way down, those big block orders down at the bottom, which we call iceberg orders. And that's really the big difference. So level 2 is really only good to see spreads. Other than that, it's worthless. That's why it's free.
Let's see. Lee Sun says, thank you for answering his options questions. Rosalie wants to know what the difference between level 3 and level 4 is.
So one is on a heat map, which you're going to see tomorrow. Okay, so you'll be able to see it actually, the consistency, and it will aggregate with more ECNs and exchanges. So instead of just looking at one, you'll get more. But with that, which some of you just brought up earlier, those things cost money. You know what I mean? And I'm not here, I don't like talking about money because the first thing people do is they put, all they keep on thinking about is it costs money, it costs money. But listen, everything, there's nothing free in this world. But if someone could prove to you why you need it and you see it, it's working, it's making you money, then you'll pay for it. So without going into talking about those things and spending money on that, why not buy something that is almost to nothing, like Nasdaq Book Viewer costs $15, okay? And let me tell you, I can sit here till blue my face, Jeff, and people still won't pay $15 for that, which I still can't figure out, and if you can't afford 15, I tell everyone, and don't take this the wrong way, you shouldn't be trading. If you're not trading on the Metastock platform, you shouldn't be trading. There's nothing free in this world, and that's why trading is such a big failure rate. But I know everyone here is smarter than that, and that's why you're all going to want to be here tomorrow and see it live in the market. Okay.
Cool. Gabrielle wants to know, would Bookmap be level 2 or level 3 or level 4?
It will be level 3.
Okay.
Be level 3.
I think we're caught up with the questions. I did, Kelly, or not Kelly, Greg, if you would put the cto.co.free in the YouTube chat, just so that link is there. Aside from that, I think we did all the questions. Oh, weird. I don't see it.
Oh, I see it.
All right. As long as it's there. I didn't see it in the Metastock webinars, but okay.
No problem. So anyway, Jeff, thanks for having me again. I look forward to being at the Metastock event next week and talking about it. And everyone else, if you want to get a little head start really quick, here's your opportunity to come and join me for free for that event. But thanks for coming, sticking around tonight. I'm going to go get ready to fry some chicken cutlets right now and my pasta and peas. So, and
I'm headed over to your house.
Oh yeah, well, I'll be at your house soon too. I'll cook for you. Okay.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Fausto.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. And everyone, enjoy the rest of the evening. We'll see you here tomorrow at 12.
All right. And I would say real quick, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure to like and subscribe. It helps a great deal. We appreciate it. Thank you, Fausto, for joining us. We appreciate that. Thank you for coming. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week at our big conference we're doing. Thanks for coming.
Hi, Kelly Clement here from Metastock. Before you go, I have 2 quick things for you. 1, thanks for joining us today. We love having you here at our webinars and viewing our videos. So what I'd like to invite you to do before you go is like and subscribe. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. It helps us a great deal and it helps us bring you more awesome content like today's video. The second thing is we have a great ebook on trading that you can get for free. If you go to metastock.com/YouTubebook, you can get a free copy of The Secrets of Successful Traders. It's a great book with lots of content, from traders just like yourself who can teach you some of the secrets that they have learned. Thanks for taking a second with me and learning about those two things. Thanks for joining us, and keep on trading.